Welcome to Impact the World, the show for and about creatives, changemakers, and entrepreneurs. This is an insight episode where I share a few quick tips to help you take your work and mission to the next level. Hey, so in this episode, we are going to look at why you are needed and why you are enough. So 15 years ago when I began this work, it was very easy for me to think of people who were already doing the kind of thing I was doing in my field and see that they were more progressed, they'd been doing it longer, they were really good at it. So I could often think to myself, well, why am I needed? And what I've learned and come to understand over the years is all of us are needed because we are all completely unique. We all have a very unique way of seeing things, delivering things, and being an emblem for somebody who is going to need you. So one trap that I see people fall into a lot when they forget that they are enough and that they are needed exactly as they are, is they try and emulate or become someone else that they admire. So the world doesn't need another Oprah Winfrey or another Brendan Burchard or another Elvis Presley, because those guys are either already out there doing their thing or they have been out there doing their thing and their imprint is now left on our collective. What the world needs is how you are going to imprint our collective, because you are a composite of all of the experiences that you have had so far. And so that's what you need to share with the world. And also, we tend to have a human disease of not being enough. So you being willing to work with that inside your own mind and still step out there and recognize, actually, I may not be quite as good as I want to be in this area or this area, but I'm just going to offer this that I can, because you never know what it's going to do for somebody else, how it's going to empower them, or just the act of you showing up in the world gives someone else permission to be brave enough to show up themselves. So when you're comparing yourselves to others, stop it. Because we don't need you to be the person that you already admire. We need you to take the energy that you got from that person that you admire, let it run through your system, and let the world see who you are birthing yourself to be. Because these are really important transformational times, and more voices than ever, more teachers than ever, more different ways of doing things than ever are needed. Number 2 is, who are you to judge? If you're somebody who doesn't really judge yourself and you can say that you look in the mirror and you love what you see every time and that you're pretty open about yourself and you're pretty easygoing, then great. Maybe it's important to think about this idea that you've got in your head that you're not enough, because this is new for you. But if you, like so many of us, are the kind of person who can recount countless times of looking in the mirror and not liking what you see, or focusing on that part of your body or your face that you don't really like, that no one else ever cares about or sees because they just experience your personality, or they think you're really beautiful and you're the kind of person who won't hear that because you've decided you're not. You are not the best judge of whether you are enough or whether you are needed. So it's good to know that and go, I have a part of my mind that is not helpful to me and is not very accurate, because the way I see myself is still way harder on myself than all my friends and family and loved ones see me. So as I move into doing this work a little bit more, this is going to be a great opportunity for me to start to recognize that what my mind wants to tell me about why I shouldn't do something or why I'm not good enough is actually a lie, and is stopping me from experiencing the fullness of myself in the world, is stopping others from experiencing the fullness of myself in the world. And really, it's all about experience. The reason to really do something in the world, put your work into the world, is to connect with people and to go on to have greater experiences. So if that little judge is just insidiously wanting to keep beating you up, catch it, recognize it, know, this book might be tough because I really want to take myself down. So this is going to be a great opportunity for me to work with that part of my mind, keep pushing forward anyway, get feedback and support and maybe some therapy or some help with it if I feel the need for that, but to keep going, because this is a pattern I can break if I keep going. Number 3 is do what you can as well as you can and don't worry about what you didn't do or can't do. This is common. Any of us who create things, you can create something and you walk away from it and you're like, God, I wish I'd said that differently, or I wish I'd painted that part differently. This is just the nature of being a creator. You don't know what the perfection of what you have created is in the world. So in order to actually be doing things in the world, you have to let go of perfection, because perfection is an idea and perfection is in the eye of the beholder. One person's idea of perfection is very different to someone else's. So in order to show up, be enough, give to the world, you have to hold what you create lightly. Keep going, put it out. Recognize that as you do this more and more, you will start to be a little less critical of your own creations, and you will start to lean more into the experience of being a creator in the world, and that what I call the wheel, which is we put things into the wheel of life. I'm super grateful to all the authors, singers, musicians, artists who put their work out into the wheel that I get to receive. And what you're doing when you put your work into the wheel is you're making an offering for other people to have an experience with that you may never fully understand. So you aren't the best judge of your own creations. So if you're being too judgmental about the things that you're doing, try and hold that a little more lightly and try it out on some people and see what the feedback is, because you'll often be surprised what others will be seeing that you aren't. Number 4, you aren't doing this alone. Often when we're having those thoughts of, I'm not good enough, or I'm not this enough, or I'm not as good as that person, it can be really important to remember that this isn't just about you. None of us are unique because we as human beings are these singular people. We're all a composite of every single teacher, every single lesson, every single person in our life that we have experienced, that we have been influenced by. So sure, I have a name and I have a certain vibration and a certain way of working, but I'm a composite of everyone who has come before me. I'm a composite of everybody that has affected me, taught me. So I'm enough because I'm not just me. I am who I have arrived at today and who's before you today in this form because of every other human being, nature, other things that have influenced me. So you're never doing it alone, and whoever you think you are, there's a lot more to it than just you as a creator. You're remixing everything that has come before you, and you're putting it out with a new vibration, a new way of communicating it, and that's what the world needs. Number 5, a good thing to do when you are questioning, am I enough, am I needed, is think of 3 people in your life who have created things in the world or done things in the world that you are really grateful for. So for example, this could be your favorite singer. This could be your grandmother because of the way that she raised you and the way that she showed up. This could be your favorite author. I assure you that none of those people, when they were doing what they were doing or creating what they created, didn't have some kind of self-doubt along the way or challenging days. So think of how grateful you are for what they created and put into the world, and choose to be one of those people for someone else. Because if these people that you are so grateful to hadn't existed, hadn't pushed through their own resistance, hadn't figured out how to put themselves into the world for you and for other people, you wouldn't be who you are today, because you are directly influenced by their love, their creativity, their work. So if ever you're having a rough day or questioning whether you should put yourself out there, think of all the people who put themselves out there that you are so grateful that they did. And then make a choice to be someone who's going to possibly be that person for others. And finally, number 6, which is you will grow, learn, and change through the doing of what you want to do. So often we think that we should be prepared and rehearsed and have it all together, and it just doesn't work like that. We're all apprentices every single day in our life. We're all growing, we're all changing, and you will grow and learn through the doing. But if you never start, if you hesitate for too many years to start moving into this thing that you want to do or create, you'll never actually get to grow and evolve. And again, you don't know how what you do may affect someone else's life. And in many cases, it may save someone else's life. The song you write, the article that you write, it might be a really key piece in someone else's healing or transformation. So if you're finding you can't get out of your own way on a certain day, try and recall some of the feedback that you've had for what you've done so far, whether it's for work that you've put into the world, or whether it's just a friend who says, that day that you chatted to me about my divorce, I was in the hole and you just lifted me out. Don't forget that who you are is already perfect, and what you can offer today is already enough. So try and practice that with your mindset whenever you're in that fear place, that doubt place, that comparison place. You are needed, you are enough, and now is your time. You have been listening to Impact the World. For more of my work, please visit leeharrisenergy.com. And to attend my 5-day Impact the World in-person training event held in Scottsdale, Arizona in April 2020, visit leeharrisenergy.com/impact.